Hey guys, welcome back to episode 3 of the Transmission Refresh series. On episode 1, we did the shifter linkage alignment. On episode 2, we did the torque rod bushing, but I still haven't addressed the elephant in the room, which are the subframe bushings. You might be thinking the subframe bushings are not related to the transmission. However, if you have worn subframe bushings, your car will clunk and make noises when you're shifting, so in that sense, it is somewhat related. And these are polyurethane bushings from Powerflex, who is the sponsor for this video. And actually the first sponsor ever for this channel. I honestly didn't think a big and well-known company like Powerflex would be interested in sponsoring a small channel like mine. But after talking with Jake, who is the brand manager at Powerflex, he was very cool, and I can clearly tell that this company is more than just a company trying to make money. They're actually passionate about cars, and he liked what he saw on the channel, so he sent these out to me to try. So thank you, Jake, for being awesome, and thank you guys for supporting and watching this channel, because without you guys, this would not be possible. So let's talk briefly about subframe bushings. What are they, what do they do, and why would you choose polyurethane over factory rubber? Subframe bushings are responsible for isolating vibration and noise from the road. On uneven pavement, they dampen the ride so your car doesn't feel like a wooden roller coaster. If your bushings are worn out, it can lead to bad alignment, which causes uneven tire wear, unstable braking, and poor handling. In worst cases, you'll hear metal on metal noise over bumps, which mine is doing right now, so that tells me my bushings have probably never been replaced. Car manufacturers use rubber from factory because they are squishy and they provide a comfortable ride, which is what most buyers want. But rubber is rubber. Over time, as it gets exposed to the weather, it will start drying up, cracking, and deteriorating, which leads to where we are now. Polyurethane, on the other hand, is more firm and provides a more precise driving feel compared to rubber. And that goes without saying, your ride will be a bit more stiff. It's also weather resistant, so it lasts much longer. These purple colored bushings are the street/performance version and recommended for most casual and sporty driving. The black series are for track-focused driving, which is up to 80% stiffer than rubber and 25% stiffer than the purple bushings. All Powerflex bushings have lifetime warranty, so that tells me they are confident in their product. If you are interested in buying Powerflex bushings, visit the Powerflex website or buy from any one of these official dealers. One last thing before we get to installing, there are two versions for the OG95s, one for model years 98 to 01 and another set for 02 and up. So make sure you get the right ones. So now with that out of the way, let's get under the car and remove the old bushings. I started with the rear two because those two are the easiest to remove. There are two metal covers held on by 14mm bolts here. Then the subframe bolt is an 18mm.
Look at that. This is almost completely detached from the rest of the rubber.
Now it's a matter of prying on the subframe just enough to get the old bushing out, which seemed almost impossible given my skill and tools. So I loosened the middle and the front subframe bolts to get more space. Then I used a handsaw to cut the metal sleeve and pried it out with a screwdriver. This would have been much easier with the reciprocating saw, but I'm all about doing the best with what you have. For the middle bushings, I had to use a hole saw to drill out the middle like this because it wasn't as worn out as the rear ones. At first I had some trouble getting the old one out, so I loosened the other subframe bolts a bit to give more slack. After that, it came out pretty easily. The middle ones have a plastic outer part instead of metal like the other ones, so it was much easier to take out. I used a Dremel with the metal tip to grind down the plastic, and it came out by hand. Fronts have a lot of space, so it was pretty easy to remove. So my bushings are finally out. The first one I did took me about 2 hours, and the second one took me 20 minutes, so you learn as you go. The poly bushings are not all the same size. The front and rear bushings are about 38mm in diameter in the middle, and the middle two bushings are 40mm. If you look closely at the bushings, you will see two of them that say 40 at the end, so make sure to put those in the middle. After putting on the supplied grease on the bushing, I put the bushing in between the frame and the body, making sure
the larger part goes on the top, so it goes in like that.
Then I used my jack to push up on the subframe, and the bushing went in with a satisfying Alright guys, it is January 1st, so Happy New Year. And this is my first time driving with the new bushings. I have been driving a little bit just around the block a few times, and then a little bit on the big roads, so I can really tell you guys the pros and cons of polyurethane bushings. So I'll get one bad thing out of the way. There is slightly more vibration coming from the steering wheel and from the seats, and that is expected because polyurethane obviously is more firmer than rubbers. So I think that probably is the only bad thing that I can feel. So as for the good things, number one thing is before going from neutral into first, when I'm at a stoplight, I would hear a slight clunk going from neutral to first, and I thought that was because there was something wrong with my transmission internally, but that doesn't happen anymore. So turns out that is the subframe bushings. And number two, when I'm going between shifts, so like second to third, third to fourth, or fifth, there used to be, my car used to be very jerky because, you know, the subframe would shake even when I get the engagement point pretty good. But now, even when I don't get the engagement point on spot, like spot on, it doesn't do that anymore. So that is also a nice change, because I would have to really let go of the clutch very gently in order for me to not look like a noob driving a manual car. Number three, when the car's weight shifts from, you know, back to forward or side to side, the car doesn't feel like it's gonna break apart anymore. So that's another thing. And even and on uneven pavement, the car feels very stable, and overall the car just feels more firm and solid, which I think is a good thing in pretty much every aspect. You don't really sacrifice any comfort. I mean, I don't feel any more uncomfortable than before. If anything, because the car is more firm, it feels more confident, and that gives a much better driving experience. So I would give this product a solid 10 out of 10. I mean, I didn't really expect less from PowerFlex, because they're such a very well-known brand, and pretty much everyone knows that they make good products. They're actually like a engineering company. They're not trying to sell, you know, cheap pieces of plastic to you. And like I mentioned before, they're actually very passionate. I can tell by talking to the brand manager at PowerFlex. So very highly recommended. If there was anything unclear during my installation, please let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to make some clarifications there. Otherwise, I think this will either be the last video of 2023 or the first video of 2024. And I just wanted to say thank you so much, because this channel, we achieved a lot. We hit our first 1,000 subscribers earlier in the year, and we got our first sponsorship, which is PowerFlex. And I do have a few more sponsorships lined up, and I'll be making a few more videos with that. So stay tuned for that. Whoa. I almost crashed there. BMW drivers. Anyways, I was gonna say, none of this would have been possible without you guys tuning in and showing support, sharing, liking, subscribing. So thank you so much. That's honestly the one thing I have in mind is thankfulness for my 2023 on this channel. So thank you so much, and I am very much excited for what the future has, what we have in store for the future. Anyways, that's enough of me blabbering about how thankful I am. So I'll just say it one last time from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. As always, thanks for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys on the next one.